NFL is going to officially move to 17 game schedule. Let me find the Adam Schefter tweet here. The NFL is expected to expand the regular season schedule this week to 17 games. The league has played a 16 game regular season schedule since 1978, by far the longest stretch without a change in NFL history, which is kind of crazy to think about. So, added 17th game. I believe it was Field Yates who followed that up with a report about what the newly proposed 17th game would look like using the formula reported by Peter King from, I believe he's with NBC Sports, which is technically Pro Football Talk. It's
Yeah.
under the same umbrella. And he said, here are some of the expected matchups for the NFL 17th game for each team. Oh, these are the expected matchups. So Packers at the Chiefs is the one we're looking at. Could be a fun one with Aaron Rodgers coming back to Kansas City. We coming back. I don't know why he would be coming back. Just coming to Kansas City. But I think he did. The Packers go to Kansas City when Mahomes was hurt.
Yeah.
And okay, that's what I meant by back.
Yeah.
But they had Matt Moore play against him. So now we can hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we
Yeah.
can see Mahomes versus Rodgers, kind of because we've already seen Breeze versus Mahomes. We've
Mhm.
seen Mahomes versus Brady. Now we just need to get that. That's like kind of the next little step. We've seen Mahomes versus Wilson from
Yep.
one generation to the next. That's kind of the next one that we really need. And it sounds like we're going to get that in week 17, 18, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm confused about the buy situation. I thought they might add
Mhm.
another buy as well, but I guess not yet. That could be something in the future. But yeah, it'll be fun to see the State Farm Bowl here in Kansas City. I think what they said was the AFC teams get the home game this year, and then the NFC will
Oh,
get the home games the following year. So
that makes
I think
sense.
that's how it's going to work. And then it'll just be like, I think this year the AFC West will play the NFC North. So it'll be first place teams play each other, second place teams play each other, and so on. And so
Yeah.
that's just how it'll go. And so, I mean, it should be pretty fun. I think it'll be interesting to see the other interdivision matchups, and maybe we'll be cheering for the Bears as they go up against the Raiders or whoever it may be. The Vikings
Right.
versus the Broncos. I don't remember exactly who finished last, but I guess it would have been the Lions versus the Broncos. But
Yeah.
anyway, it'll be fun to see how everything shakes out.
So it's looking like I'm just now kind of skimming Peter King's article here. The league counter gets pushed back 1 week with a likely February 13th Super Bowl in Los Angeles. No extra bye, 17 games in 18 weekends. Super Bowl LVI originally scheduled for February 6th and airing on NBC has not been officially moved yet. The league hasn't said a word about moving the game to officials in Los Angeles, but the NFL won't start the season don't start the season on ratings clashing Labor Day weekend. So we'll see here.
I
I
I
do.
did see about the I saw about the Super Bowl being moved back, and my initial thought was, all right, it's going to be around Valentine's Day, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that popped in my head, but then I also thought it should be closer to President's Day, because then we could have the day off after Super Bowl. That would
Oh,
be perfect. I mean, in an ideal situation. So if they added an extra buy-in, that could actually happen. So that's my thinking. Eventually, we'll get to President's Day weekend, so we can have the Super Bowl and then have a Monday off, and that would just be ideal.
that would be just really great because I can't remember who it was. It might have been an interview with like Kamala Harris during like it was probably like 2018 or something like that. Way before the election started, she was still like running for president. Somebody asked her, it might have been it was either her or Pete Buttigieg about making the Monday after the Super Bowl a national holiday, and they said, well, we'll have to like propose it with something else because they have to have like an even number. There's something about like national holidays. There's like a weird stipulation in there where they just can't add one, they have to add like two or like take one away and add one. It's
Yeah,
there's something like that, and I think that they can only have a certain many number of them. So they were kind of talking about that, but that would be a perfect little loophole. Is just make the Super Bowl
yeah.
the day before President's Day.
We know
Oh,
politicians are into loopholes too. So, if we can just get that thing pushed back a little bit. And I mean, I'm assuming eventually it'll be an 18 game schedule. I don't
hmm,
I don't know how soon or how far in the distance that'll be, but you know, we'll take it as it comes, and we'll adjust as NFL fans and media.
We really will, and I'm not gonna complain about an extra NFL game. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, you're not gonna see
Oh
me
yeah,
complain. I think there's a player safety aspect to it that they're not too keen on. I get that. I understand it, but let's look at some of the other matches before we completely put a bow on this. I'm glad you brought this up because this is something that we probably needed to talk about. Packers at Chiefs, Bears at Raiders, as you already mentioned, Vikings at Chargers, Lions at Broncos. Those are the kind of the proposed Week 17 matches for the AFC West. I think those are some ones of interest. The Bears at Raiders would be a good one, I think. I'm interested by that one. Vikings at Chargers. I think that the Chargers would take care of that. And Lions at Broncos, man, that could be two teams fighting for the number one pick at that point. Who knows what's going to happen with those two teams? But yeah, that's good. I like that they're putting the Packers and the Chiefs together. It has to do with seeding from last year, right? Is that how this one all shakes out?
yeah. Yeah, so it's for the top teams in each division play each other. Second place plays each other.
Yep.
Third place, fourth place, and yeah, I like you said, I think the Chargers are probably going to be better than the Vikings. The other two matchups will be pretty interesting. The Fighting Daltons, Andy Daltons against the Raiders. That'll be interesting. The Raiders have really had. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but they've kind of
Yeah,
really had a bad offseason.
not a great one.
So we'll see how they're doing by week 17. But I'm really excited about that Chiefs Packers matchup because that could really, I mean, right before the playoffs start. I don't. Maybe they'll be resting their players by that point too.
Yeah.
We didn't even think about that one. But if
Yeah.
the Packers and Chiefs are both locked up into a one seed, they might not even get to see the Rodgers versus Mahomes. But
Yeah.
it could be a little Super Bowl preview type thing. You never know.